With me, Manil, here on Unacademy's YouTube channel for IELTS. As always, I am back with a lesson that will help you, probably perform better for your IELTS test. Now, today's topic is all about taking the IELTS test itself. So, hi to the person who's already joined. And sorry, I kept you waiting for a few minutes before I got the class started. Some sort of a technical issue that I think I got my keys and all wrong at the back end. So hey, so anyways, so today we will be talking all about taking the IELTS test and what is it about, and who should take which test and those kind of things. So just general information. So the person who's already watching, may I request you for your name, please? So hi to the other person also who's just joined. So guys, if you could very quickly share your names and also let me know whether you're appearing for the academic or the general training test. Anyways, while you do that, let me get going with what I have to cover. So what is IELTS? IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. That is how IELTS gets its name. IELTS. All right. So I keep saying this to everyone. IELTS is a test of your ability. All right. It's a test of your ability to communicate using English as a language. All right. Tests your ability to communicate using English as a language. Now, one very important thing to go with this, it is a test of your language. Always remember, and not your knowledge. Right? I've seen a lot of people get worried about, oh, meko task 2 pe, I don't know how to generate points on task 2. No, don't worry. It's not about, no, oh, what if I don't know anything about this? What if I, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's about you being able to convey whatever you think about that topic using English. That's it. That is all that it tests, right? And IELTS has two formats. Okay, so the test itself has two formats. One is called the academic format, academic test, and the other one is called the general training test. Now, why do they have two different formats and what do they mean? Now, the academic test is meant for people who are looking to study abroad. Okay, so people who are looking to study in universities which are teaching courses in English. Mostly these universities are in countries where English is the native language. But for those of you watching this in India, you will be surprised that if you want to study at a university in India, in most cases, a student coming from abroad has to appear for the IELTS test, even for Indian universities. Okay, and especially the private universities, they now expect that the IELTS score be submitted, and also from a lot of top government colleges the IELTS test is to be appeared for. Beyond that, it is also for people who are working in technical jobs. What do I mean by technical jobs? People who are doctors, engineers, pilots, right? Because they need to show a very high level of understanding of the language. So academic sort of tests you at a higher level of English as against general training, right? And so general training is primarily for people who are looking to immigrate and also looking to work abroad. Now, again, like I said, work is on both sides, but here these are not technical jobs. These are your everyday jobs: sales, marketing, accounting, where you see, even if you end up getting a word wrong, you may not end up taking a life, right? But at these, on the technical front, a pilot not being able to understand what's said could really put a lot of people in danger, right? So those people who are holding medicine jobs in the field of medicine, law, uh, top company employees, the senior management like vice presidents and CEOs, they also need to appear for the academic test while applying for their visa. So this is in general what those two tests are. Okay. Now, which one should you apply for? That is something that you need to decide. Now, are you trying to apply to a university, right? So in most cases, what happens is, so not in most cases, first of all, before I get to that, what happens is you get a score out of you get a band score on the IELTS test, okay? And these scores are all the way from 0 to 9. 0 means you did not appear, all right? And 9 means you're an expert user of English, all right? You're an expert when it comes to English. So this is what it means. So if you're looking to study abroad, most universities, not all universities, will expect that you score an overall score of band 6.5, all right, on your IELTS test, and then you score at least minimum band 6 on all sections, right? So what are these sections? So the IELTS test has these two formats, but all tests, both academic and general, test you on 4 skills. These skills are listening, reading, writing, and speaking, right? So these are the 4 skills that IELTS is going to test you on. Now, depending on how you perform on each of these, right? There are certain ways. So listening and reading is straight up, you have audio files or passages to read, and then you answer the questions, and based on the number of questions that you get correct, you get a band score. Writing and speaking, it depends on how you answer the question that has been asked. So this is more about quantitative, this is more qualitative in terms of its approach, and basis this you get a band score. And most universities will say that you get a minimum of band 6. Now, when it comes to general training, most people appear for the general training test for Canada or Australia. Most people, right? And from India, I'm talking about from India, I don't know about abroad. For Canada, it is expected that it is not expected, but if you want to score not the max possible is a little higher, but if you want good points, you want strong score for your profile, it is expected that you'll score 8,777, wherein 8 is for listening and 777 is for the other 3 sections. And if you're looking to go to Australia with no restrictions, right, you are expected to score 8, 8, 8, and 8 on all 4 sections, so that you have enough points that you can, probably settle in whichever city you wish to in Australia. So these are the 2 cases where people are appearing for the general training test. So basis what is your aim, what is your ambition, you probably need to decide which one you are going for, academic or general training. Most of the people are today looking to appear for the academic because studying abroad is definitely a great way to, one, gain more knowledge, skill yourself, and then also find an opportunity to go settle down in that country, right? That is the route that a lot of people take these days. These 2 routes, of course, are available, but are very difficult to crack, because it's not just your IELTS score that helps you go abroad. It's also a number of other things that are taken into consideration while assessing your profile to give you a visa, right? So if not everything is in place, you'll probably still, even though you get a good band score, you'll still probably not be able to, get the visa. For Canada, if you want to get the maximum score on your profile for IELTS, well, in that case, what you need to do is you need to score 8.5 on listening, 8 on speaking, 8.5 on reading, and 7.5 on, it's something like that. I don't remember the exact breakup. If you go to the Canadian websites, Canadian government's IRCC's website, you'll find the options. So the maximum possible is, I think, 8.5 on listening, 8.5 or 9, right? 8 on reading, 8 on speaking, and 7.5 on writing. So that is how that is. So if you can score that, I think your overall profile score goes up by another 20 or 25 or 20, I think 20 points or something like that. So if you want, yes, you should aim for that. So that brings us to, how do you do so? How do you go about appearing for the test? So there are 2 ways to go about this. One is you can appear through British Council, or the other is you can appear through IDP. Now these are people who only conduct the test. They are not the ones who set the test. The test is set by Cambridge, right? That's a university in the UK. They are the ones who created the test. They are the ones who set the questions for you. They are the ones who do everything. It is British Council and IDP who bring the test to you, right? So they have their centers where they have where they conduct the tests depending on sorry, and then they have their employees who do the assessments and corrections and everything. But the guidelines for corrections are also again established by Cambridge. Now there are two ways to appear for the test. One is your paper-based test, and then there is the computer delivered test. All right, so these are the two ways that you can go appear for the test. Identical, right? Other than for this one change, one minor change, wherein in the paper-based test you get an additional 10 minutes to exclusively transfer your answers to the answer sheet. But trust me, you cannot take a decision that I will go for the paper-based test because it has 10 extra minutes. It's the same. The amount of time that you get to answer the questions on both is identical. The fees on both is identical. So that shouldn't make any difference to you. All right. Finally, coming to the most important part, how do you prepare for these? All right. See, there are a million ways to prepare for the test. There are a million ways to prepare for the test. These include going to academies, trying to join free groups on Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever, I don't know, right? I honestly do not recommend those. I personally don't recommend those. Okay, not because I have joined I mean, like not for long. I just sort of went in there, saw the quality of material that's being shared, the quality of teaching that's being done, and I say you got to be very careful where you go to prepare for your IELTS test. And trust me, you need a good tutor. See, IELTS in itself is probably the easiest test you'll ever appear for in your life. Probably, okay? It's probably the easiest test you'll appear for in your life. But I have seen educators and tutors out there who will misguide you, mislead you, just to make more money off you, right? So you got to be careful who you go study with. One option that I can give you is to come study with me on Unacademy, right? There are the app itself where you can study with me for free in a number of ways. I have a lot of published videos that you can go watch over there, right? Additionally, I also do about 5 to 7 free classes each month, which give you some idea on how to appear for the IELTS test, how you should approach the test. Or you could also study with me on Unacademy Plus, right? Now that is something where I give structured courses, right? So instead of blindly preparing for the test, I give you, there is a proper structure that you can follow through which you will be ready for the test. And instead of taking 2 attempts, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, we'll try our level best to have you score the desired band score in one go. Okay, and I think that is important because the test in itself is very expensive. If you are appearing through British Council, you end up paying 13,250 rupees. If you're appearing through IDP, you are paying again 13,750 rupees. So that is expensive, right? You don't want to pay it over and over again, over and over again. I know some of you come from a background where for you 13,500 may be nothing, right? But that being said, still time, the mental peace, everything matters, right? And for a lot of people, lot depends on these things. So what I'd recommend is get proper guidance. There are a lot of you who are already good at English. Okay, for you, all you need to do is just get the correct guidance so that in one go, especially those of you who are trying to get to Canada and Australia, so that in one go you can get your band score. See, the cutoffs are going up each month, right? So you don't want to be in that position wherein you go like, oh, I could have made it without a nomination. Now I need a nomination, or now my points are just not enough. I can now go settle wherever I wish to in Australia, right? So for that, you can join my IELTS course, which is 3 weeks, Monday to Friday, and it is 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. All right. So it's a very conveniently timed course. For those of you who are weak at English, you should join my grammar course. All right. Now this grammar course is again for 3 weeks, Monday to Friday, and the timing is 5:45 to 6:45 p.m. Right. So classes are also very convenient. And if you're weak, I recommend you do the grammar course twice, and you'll be ready for the test. Okay. So Unacademy Plus in itself is a very, very, very affordable platform. For 1 month, you only pay 2,700 bucks. But if you use my code IELTS by Manil, you get a 10% discount and this amount drops to 2,430. I don't think anyone can teach you for a month for less than that in a proper manner, right? If you go for 3 months, it's 6,000 bucks. Sorry, 6,600 bucks, and with the discount, it drops to 6,000 rupees. Now, when you subscribe, you don't just study with me, you can study with every educator who's offering classes for IELTS on Unacademy Plus, right? So everyone's classes. So whoever other educator you think probably can help you prepare for the test. So you can attend everyone's classes by just paying this fee once. So it's not like you have to pay separately for the grammar course and then separately for the IELTS course. No, you pay the fee and then you attend all the classes. You attend all my courses. You attend all courses with everyone else. So I recommend come join Unacademy Plus, all right? And everything that we've discussed here, see, this was just an introduction. But what we can do is get into the depth of everything. See guys, IELTS is not about memorizing things. It's not like अरे ये रट्टा मार लेते हैं वो रट्टा मार लेते हैं आज मैं 25,000 क्वेश्चन पे अटेम्प्ट करके जाऊंगा मैं 350 करोड़ रुपए 350 करोड़ शब्द रट लूंगा नहीं. It has nothing to do with that. Okay, that is the wrong approach for the IELTS test. The way to do well on the IELTS test is you understand the test. Okay, ये रट्टाबाजी नहीं है, ये यूपीएससी का टेस्ट नहीं है कि पिछले 5,000 साल के आप क्वेश्चन पेपर उठा लो और सारे रट मारो और जब जो क्वेश्चन दिखा जो रटा उगल दिया. वैसे नहीं होता ये. Alright, so there is a correct approach. Come join me on Unacademy Plus and I'll absolutely take you to that point where you'll be like, oh, this is indeed the easiest test I can ever appear for in my life. And you'll probably even start appreciating the test. You'll understand why the test has been made. All right. So guys, I have another lesson that starts in about 5 minutes from now. Right. If you're watching now, I recommend you come join me for that lesson as well. But what I'd best recommend is download the Unacademy app and start watching videos over there as well. Find my profile and follow me. And from there, you can start then attending my classes as well and then take it forward from there. All right. Thank you for joining me for this lesson. Keep practicing and remember for IELTS, keep it simple and stick to the basics. Goodbye.